This is Jordan with Knowledge HQ, and today we'll be looking at 5 ways in which you can save more money each month. Whether you make $20,000 or $200,000 each year, these steps will help you to keep more money from your paycheck in your bank account at the end of every month. So without further ado, let's save you some money. Tip number 1, make a budget. Now, this seems very obvious and probably overstated, but it's so important that it needs to be repeated. You have to make a budget. Now, this doesn't have to be a super detailed spreadsheet with 1,000 line items. It can be as complex or as simple as you are comfortable with. The important thing is that it's something that you understand and it's something that you are willing to stick to. Just like diets, most budgets don't work because we aren't willing to go and keep them up to date every month and do the work behind a budget. The way that I would suggest that you try and make these budgets work is A, to keep them simple, and B, to keep them automated. So keeping them simple, don't have 1,000 line numbers, 1,000 categories, right? Keep it simple. Entertainment, food, utilities, your basics, right? You don't need to break it down to the point where it's a headache to figure out. The second thing is to keep it automated. A lot of bank websites do this for you, or there's other websites like youneedabudget.com I've heard good things about. But one of the biggest downsides to having a budget is having to go through and write everything out or go and look back over all your purchases. So if you can have a way that this is automated for you each month, it's a lot easier on you and you're much more likely to actually stick to the budget. In essence, what the budget is going to show you is how much money you are bringing in and how much money you're losing each month, right? How much money is going out. And more importantly, the money that's going out, what is encompassing that? So how much of that money is rent and food and utilities and gas and car stuff, right? Stuff that you really need versus how much is, entertainment or eating out at restaurants or drinking or things that we may want more than we need. So essentially, the truth behind the budget is knowledge. Knowledge is power, and financial knowledge is the first step to saving your hard earned money. Tip number 2 is to identify honestly the difference between needs and wants. This is something that in today's society we really, really struggle with. What do we need versus what we actually want? So here's some examples. What we need is basically what we need to survive. And we don't have to have that, in so stark a terms. So not just, meat and shelter and clothes, right? We can expand that. So if you work somewhere that's more than 5 minutes away, right, you need a car. Now, what type of car, that's where we fall into needs versus wants. Same with clothes. We all need clothes. We all need food. But what kind? We all need shelter. We may not need the 7 bedroom, 8 bathroom house though. We may not need the designer jeans, we may not need the Lexus or the Ferrari. This is where we differentiate between needs and wants. So what are wants then? Wants are things that if we didn't purchase, we would still function. So cigarettes, alcohol, really, fancy new car. Unfortunately, your iPhone, your television, your new Gucci purse. All of these things that I'm sure you have said, oh, I need that. I definitely need to have that. You don't. And if you end up purchasing it, at least be honest with yourself and say, I don't need this. I don't have to have this, but I want it, so I'm going to get it. I'm rewarding myself for something. At least be honest. So having that knowledge again, financial knowledge is power. So figuring out what is a need in your life, what is a want in your life. And then the next step, of course, is how can we reduce those wants? How can we shave them down? How would we prioritize them? Because of course, we are going to buy some things that we want, and you should. You should enjoy your life. You make money to spend it, not just to save it, to spend it too. And you want to, treat your family to something nice, right? Treat yourself to something nice. Treat your girlfriend or your boyfriend for something nice. But we need to first identify in which category these lay. Tip number 3, we need to cut down on our food costs. One recurring cost every single month is food. Whether we like it or not, food is a need. We need to have food to survive. Again, the difference between food as a need versus food as a want, though, is how are we choosing to spend money on food? Some ways to cut down on food costs are to pick cheaper stores. So shopping at Costco or at Aldi as opposed to, Whole Foods or Harris Teeter or these more expensive stores. Simply choosing a less expensive store immediately can save you upwards of $500 a month. At the store too, what are we buying? Are we buying impulse buys and sweets and snacks? If we're doing that, then I guarantee we aren't sticking to our shopping list. Most people on their shopping list, they don't have eggs, meat, flour, and that king size Snickers bar at the cash register. If we actually stick to our shopping list and we build our shopping list around what's on sale and what we have coupons for, what deals are, that'll save us an enormous amount of money. Also, and really most importantly, we need to cut down on the amount of food that we waste. I don't know of any family who does not waste food on occasion, and some families are much worse than others. I have some friends and some families who throw out hundreds of dollars of food every single month because they buy too much food, they're unwilling to eat leftovers. The leftovers are in there, but they'd rather have something new. They're unwilling to inconvenience themselves to eat those leftovers to save money. These are all ways to cut down food costs. And whether we like it or not, these food costs are not going anywhere. Every single month, they're going to be here. So the sooner we can cut back and figure out how to curb those costs, the better for us in the long run. Tip number 4. Use cheap entertainment. Entertainment is a little bit scary for the budget, mainly because you could spend $1 million on entertainment every single month, or you could spend $0. It's really up to you. I do not want to propose not using entertainment, not having fun. I use tons of entertainment. What I want to advise is to use cheap entertainment. Take advantage of things that are low cost. Going to the movies costs $40 for 2 people nowadays. Going to the center of town and seeing a film festival projected onto the side of a screen is free. You want to look for local events, free events that your city has or nearby cities have. So check out your library, check out your town hall, obviously check online or join an intramural team, play sports, do yoga, work out, go for walks, enjoy nature, play board games. All of these things you can do that are entertaining and fun, but they're inexpensive. If you feel like you have to be spending, $50 on Groupon every week, or getting massages, or going on hot air balloon rides, all of these things, which I'm not saying don't do, but you need to be aware of what you're spending on entertainment costs and the simple fact that you can be entertained cheaply for almost no money. Not just yourself, right? Your kids or your family or your friends. Most people are very easily entertained. The 5th and the final step is to reduce recurring payments. Like food, recurring payments are these payments that you get hit with every single month. They're recurring. They keep coming back. You can't get rid of them, or at least you choose not to get rid of them. So again, some of these costs are kind of inevitable. You're gonna have to pay for rent or for a mortgage. You're gonna have to pay for your car, whether it's gas, whether you have a payment on it, insurance, right? You have to pay for your cable, for your phone, for your internet, all of these things. The first thing to do is to figure out if there are any recurring costs that you can drop, that you simply don't need. So you do need rent, but do you really need your Netflix account or your HBO Go account or your subscription to some monthly game, online video game? Or a subscription to, Cosmo or to Sports Illustrated or even the New York Times. So much is available online now that there's really not a great reason to have cable or Netflix or all of these things. Now again, you may sit down, think about it, and say, Netflix is worth the $15 a month for me. That's your decision. But you should be able to have those decisions to make. So again, first knock off any recurring payments that you don't need. Write out the list, see which ones you actually don't need, and then choose to keep them or to not. But make sure it's your decision. The second thing is to reduce the ones that you do need. So maybe you need internet and your phone. You need those for work, or you need them just because you want them. Whatever the reason, you can still go about looking to change providers or switch insurance carriers or downsize to a smaller apartment you're renting. All of these ways that you can cut costs And again, if you cut out a certain things, you get a new phone carrier, you switch from one cable provider to another, or you cut cable out and just go with internet, which is what I do, maybe you save $150 by doing that. That's $150 every single month. That's $1,800 a year. 10 years down the road, you got $18,000. And you won't miss it. Hopefully those 5 tips, if you do them, if you carry them out, if you actually think about them, identify those needs, those wants, make a budget you're willing to stick with, and consider kind of cutting down on entertainment, food, and other recurring payments. By adopting these strategies, you will see a noticeable increase in the amount of spending you have every single month. Thanks for watching. What have you done to cut down on costs and to save more money? I'd love to hear about it in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. For more videos on personal finance and other life skills, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. Until next time, this has been Jordan with Knowledge HQ.